With garden season going full swing, I'm always interested in finding things that will make life just a little bit easier to process the things that we bring from the garden. So I wanted to show and tell and try something that I got. I think I got it back in the winter. I got this at Yoder's, which is our local Mennonite store, which has a lot of great things for canning that I find lots of great ideas there. So I picked this up thinking that it looked useful, but I wanted to try it out to see actually is it useful. So this is called the Herb Stripper, and it's a kitchen gadget that it's made of like a hard plastic, and there's no particular instructions. You just take it out and you choose the hole. You know, this looks like, it looks a lot like those things that you put your crochet hooks in to tell you what size they are. That's what it looks like. So I probably could have used that, but this is way more sturdy. It's shaped like a leaf. We'll try that again. It's shaped like a leaf, and it's made for quickly stripping the leaves off of a stalk of herbs. And so I have often tried different things. Sometimes I've actually tried a drinking straw, which didn't work out all that well. But I've thought many times when I've been stripping a lot of herbs, especially dry herbs, if you've dried a lot of herbs before and you're trying to get the leaves off quickly, you know that sometimes your hands can get poked, and it was easiest for me last fall to just actually take gloved hands and just run them along the herbs, the stalks in the opposite direction. But I was thinking, boy, it sure would be nice to have something that like this, but I wasn't sure there was something like that out there. So let's give it a try. I'm going to give it a try on fresh herbs because I have some fresh herbs from my garden. I don't think that I have any dried herbs right now, so we'll have to wait on that to see what we think about it. But for now, we can do the fresh herbs. I have picked some regular basil from my garden, and then I have picked some, it's all regular. I guess I have a lot of regular. Then I've also picked some holy basil, which I would like to make some tea with right now. I've been trying to drink this tea. It's so good for your immune system. So let me go ahead and wash these herbs, and then we'll be right back to test the herb stripper. I do find that the best way to clean my herbs is to submerge them in water and swish them around vigorously. It just helps get that dirt off, any little bugs, and then I like to strain them and let them drain. I even saw on Facebook advertisement recently. They were selling a little ceramic bowl that was the same idea. It was a little ceramic cup, and it was not more than like a half a cup, and then it had the holes on the sides where you would strip your herbs and they would go directly in the bowl. We're going to be doing too many herbs for that business, so we're going to have to use a bigger bowl, a bigger process. Okay, let's try the first one. This is just a regular basil, and I'm just going to choose the one that seems the most close to the size of my stem. Too small. That one's fine. Okay, so let's give it a try. I'm just gonna run it through. Okay, it broke it off. I do believe that these would work better on dried herbs, dried herbs. So I have one that I've taken the side shoots off, and I'm going to try to just get the herbs from the top. Put it on a slightly larger one. So the idea is, okay, it got them. It worked, but it left a few. And I think that it left a few because those are the ones on a smaller stem. My opinion so far is it's good, it works, does what it's supposed to, but as with most things, there are caveats. Will it be the thing I use all the time? I don't know. It pulls them off, but it leaves a few. Okay, I wish I had some dried herbs I could try this on, because I just really feel like this would be super helpful with dried herbs. You know, when you have a flexible stalk, it's going to be a little bit hard to do.
I fiddled around with this herb stripper quite a bit on the fresh basil and holy basil, and what I concluded was that it's just not made for fresh herbs. It's great for dried herbs or woody herbs like thyme, but for flexible things like basil, not the best.
Run them through here. I chose the wrong side. Okay. Let me see. Actually, you know what I think I'm doing is doing it the wrong direction. It just dawned on me. If you have an herb with a stalk, you can pinch the herbs off the top of the stalk and you'll get the leaves. But let's go from the top down. Pick the appropriate size. And let's go from the top down and see if this is better. Oh yeah. Kind of. kind of. Oh yeah, I got, here's the naked stalk, and here's the herbs hanging from it. The leaves, they're going in my bowl. It pulls off the side shoots. Is it useful or is it not? That is the question everybody wants to know. Is it useful? Try one more from the top down. Let's try the holy basil. Okay. So what I want to know is, will this remove the herbs from my holy basil? So let's pinch off the top, because we can just use those, and go from the small setting like it's a computer or something. Okay, I'm going to pinch these off. Okay, this one will work well, about like that. Let's run it through. I'm doing it slowly. Ta-da! Got all the leaves off. Okay, that worked. And now I need to separate my holy basil from my regular basil, because I don't want to mix them. So I have holy basil, regular basil. What do you think? So what is my honest opinion? I like to give honest opinions and not like rehearsed. Do I think it's useful? Actually, I do think it's useful. And I really, really, really believe that if I have dried herbs that are crunchy, that these are going to strip it really, really easily. Fresh herbs, kind of, yes, useful, but not as useful as dried herbs. And if I have any dried herbs, I'm going to prove it to you. Let's walk over here to my herb shelf. What do I have? I have this, and that's on stock, so let's put it to the test. What I want to do before I try to do the lavender is take my herb stripper and dry it really well, because my lavender is dried really well. Okay, you know how lavender is. It's all like pokey and everything. That's why I just shoved it in the jar. I didn't want to deal with it. So I'm going to go backwards with the lavender. And I'm going to pick the smallest one that I think will be effective, and we'll give it a try. Can you see what I'm doing? Yes, you can. Okay, let's run it through there. Okay, I came out with a completely bare lavender stalk, and I got my little lavenders on top. Ta-da! Okay, as I suspected, it's what I suspected, that the herb stripper works the best on dried herbs. It works pretty well on fresh herbs, but I think if you had something like rosemary that had a stiffer stalk, it would do better, because it would hold its own. What happens with the basil is it has a really soft stalk, and so it wants to tear more easily. So I don't remember how much I paid for this. I'm thinking like $1.50, certainly under $5. So I would get it if you're drying herbs, if you want to strip the herbs and you're growing a lot. I think it's pretty handy. And the holes go from very small, which I don't know what herbs would go in the tiniest hole, but my finger can go up in here, and actually it can, you know, it's loose enough. I don't know what herbs you would use that are this big. Let me know in the comments if you have any idea. It's pretty big. It's probably almost a centimeter and a half. We've got probably a centimeter or so. This is this is about 2 centimeters. I used to work labor and delivery, so this is like dilation. 1, 1.5, 2, maybe not quite 2. Anyway, enough about that. I would give it a try. I think that it's pretty handy, and I'm really glad that I got it. And now I just have to remember to use it when I get my dried herbs. But for now, the lavender is going to get stripped off these stalks, and they'll be a lot easier to use, like in tea. So check it out, the herb stripper. Check it out at your local store, or I'll put a link to Amazon, and we'll see if we can find one on Amazon. Living and learning is what we do. So I just popped over to Amazon. They do indeed have this. The price, I was wrong about the price. They have it over there for $6. So I don't know that I paid that much at the Mennonite store. I just don't know. But the big holes are for curly kale and stuff like that have thick stalks. So yeah, a kale stalk can definitely be that big. So little holes for little herbs. Beyond, it goes beyond just herbs. I was just thinking herbs, but I wasn't thinking kale, lettuce, not lettuce, but I wasn't thinking about kale and curly things like things that are on a stalk that have big leaves. So, and somebody also said that they found a hidden use for this, and that is scraping their skillets because of the scraping edge on it. What I do know is that they made this on purpose for chopping. They have a sharp edge on it, so you can not only strip your herbs, but you can also chop them. I'm finding all kinds of uses for this. I would definitely check it out. Check locally first. You might find it to be a better deal, but if you can't find it locally, check it on Amazon. Have a great day. Be safe, stay well, and may God bless you.